Natalie here. Welcome to my channel, Find Joy in the Journey. It's gonna rain today, so I'm gonna depend on the rain to water my plants, water my garden. I can tell that my corn definitely needs watering. I had no idea that corn needs consistent watering. I thought you could water it and maybe go a day or two, but no, you need to water it almost every day. And this is spring, this is May, but we've been getting into the 90s in Louisiana. So yesterday was sort of mild and overcast, and the temperature kind of dropped by 5 degrees. Today it's overcast because we're going to get some rain. And like I said, I'm going to allow that to water my garden, so I'm not going to do anything to the garden. But yeah, I see the little browning leaves on the corn, so I need to... If the Lord doesn't water it, I have to get to it. Now I'm over here in this little area because I wanted to show you that I have this little area where I put my second my rain barrel, because that is the perfect spot to capture rain, or to catch rain. So that's the perfect spot for a catchment system. So that was the only thing that was going to happen in this corner, because it's right over here by our AC unit. So what I was going to do is just leave it open, and I decorated it a little bit with some mulch so it can look nice. I want it to look nice because I'll be over here in this area more often. But I was like, I'm going to use this area for vegetables that like partial shade. And I might, because I was having such a problem with my pepper plants, I was like, in this Louisiana heat, I think bell pepper plants will do better in shade. So I only have one bell pepper plant that's still in the raised bed, and it's still doing well. But I have several others, some new bell pepper plants that I planted to replace the ones that didn't make it. And they're in pots. So in other words, they can be moved, they can be transported. And if I need to bring it over in this shady area, I will. But right now, I have some Swiss chard that is growing in a little pot over there, a little container I got from the Dollar Tree. See this little pot here? I drilled some holes in it. You got to be careful with it because it's not as flexible. So when you drill your holes, you got to be careful or it will crack. And I also have super sweet Genovese basil in here, and look how pretty it is. Now I bought a plant at Home Depot. They had, for Mother's Day, they had this they had a special where you could get 5 for $10. So I got the basil, I got 2 tomato plants, and I got 2 bell pepper plants. And so that's what I put in the ground, or put in the soil. Okay, it's raining, so I got to get inside. Over here in that area, like I said, this is all in this little shady area over here. That's my Florida mustard, Florida broadleaf mustard. I started that from seed in my greenhouse. I made little seedlings, and then I just transplanted it over here. And I like that better than how I normally would do my mustards. It's raining, so I'm gonna get some rain in my little rain barrel. Okay. As you can see behind me, I'm gonna do this quickly because it's sprinkling on me. My potato plants are doing well. I gotta get out of the rain. Sweet potato is doing well. I wanted you to see the okra, but I'm gonna have to check you later. I'm gonna get out of this rain. That's the Lord saying, girl, get inside. So, hey, I'm gonna get some. I told you I wanted him to water my plants, so the Lord is watering my plants. He's watering my corn for me. Everything looks really good. I was concerned about certain things, but they're bouncing back. I think when you feel you may be over-watering something, you're actually under-watering it. And when you feel like, I don't know what's going on, look, compost. Composted cow manure works wonders. Sometimes I just go in there and get some composted cow manure and just top off the soil on certain plants, and it just bounces back all those rich nutrients in that compost. Compost, I'm telling you folks, it works wonders. Over there where I have the Florida broadleaf mustards, I planted them, transplanted seedlings, and really, I'm going to turn my back right here so y'all can see the rain, so you can see the Lord watering my garden. There we go. I transplanted those mustard seedlings in good rich soil. Some used soil. I'm good about reusing my soil. So, look. There we go. Somebody moved my rain barrel. I thought it was closer than that. But I'm catching some rain. This one was almost empty. I had been using it so much. So I need this rain. Thank you, Lord. And he's watering my corn for me. Uh-oh. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Sometimes, and I can't remember where I was at, but sometimes when you think you are, that you're overwatering and you're actually underwatering. And then there's times when it just needs more nutrients. And that compost works wonders. That's what I was talking about. The Florida broadleaf mustards. I grew them from seed in the greenhouse. And what I did was, once they sprouted and they became little seedlings, it took me a while. You know how you procrastinate and there's other things I needed to do. So I left them in those little cells for a while. But then when I had the time and then I had the proper placement, that's when I was brainstorming, where should I place it, a good spot. And I thought about that corner that was vacant right there by my rain barrel that's in the corner over there. And I was like, that's a good shady spot. Mustards, collards, lettuce, I believe even celery and bell pepper plants can be in a shady area. It can be in an area that is that gets less than 6 hours of sunlight. It gets sunlight over there, but at a certain time of day, it becomes real cool in that area and it's partially shaded. So I'm noticing that with my pepper plants, they begin to wilt. In the morning, they're nice and full and the leaves are perky, but then, especially with one of those pepper plants, the one that's in a raised bed, you begin to see the leaves wilt. And I believe, I know, it's because the plant is protecting itself. It is trying to reserve whatever moisture it has in its leaves and in its root system. So it begins to wilt. So sometimes, especially with pepper plants, when you see wilted leaves, it's the plant protecting itself, trying to reserve the moisture that it has. But sometimes it would just, like the other plants, there were certain plants that I just couldn't save, but that one is hardy. It's the last one that's in my raised bed. If you remember, I had at least 9 pepper plants in my raised bed. I'm down to 1. Okay, I am down to 1 plant. 1 plant still standing, and it's standing strong. And I see right now it's nice and perky because it's overcast. It's cooler today, so that lets you know. That's why as you go along, you learn. You learn as you know. So you're gonna lose some plants. They're not all gonna survive. You're gonna have small harvest, large harvest, things like that. But you learn from the experience. And so now with these pepper plants, I've learned, and it's going to be a scorcher, I believe, in Louisiana this summer. So I'm already planning. I'm going to get some shade cloth, 30% shade cloth, for certain vegetables that may need it. And then there's anything that I might need to transport and move over to my shady area. I am growing it in a pot, not in the raised bed. The raised bed is going to be reserved for anything that is, because where I have my raised beds, it is directly in the sun. It gets a full 6 to 8 hours of sun each day. So those areas, anything that may need to be transported to a shady area will be in a container that is I can move. See, you learn as you go along. I remember when I first designed the garden, I was like, oh, I'm gonna put it right here. There's one of my videos from months ago where it's called brainstorming. So it's like I'm out here and I'm actually I was doing a test to see where to place the raised beds, because once you put that raised bed down, there's no moving it. You have to literally take take all of the soil out and everything in order to move it. So once you put it in place, that's where it's going to be for a while. So I know now that anything that goes in the raised bed will have to be able to withstand the sun for a full 6+ hours. Anything that you need to move to shade or whatever, then that should be in a container that can be transported. And even though some of those containers are kind of heavy, all I need is one of the little what they call a hand truck, and I can move it. Get it on there and I can move it. So the peppers, I've planted some new peppers. So now I have one red, one green. I have a banana pepper, sweet banana pepper. I have an orange bell pepper, and I have a yellow bell pepper, but they're small. The orange and yellow bell pepper are the ones that I've replaced. And the banana bell pepper, that's a new one also. But the older ones, the originals, is one red and one green. That's all that's left out of those 9 plants that I planted. But they're producing, and they are still going strong. So what I did when that last green bell pepper plant died out, I removed it, removed the root, and I put it in my compost bin. Nothing goes to waste. It went into my compost bin. Raining again. It's raining off and on. Let's see. Okay. I put it in the compost bin, and it'll be part of that. So it's going to go in there. And then I took that soil and reworked it. I amended it and added some new soil. You don't just use plain old soil. You add new soil, so it's like a 50-50. You add more perlite, and you add more a fertilizer. Like I've been using Plant Tone. Plant Tone is a 533. And I was using Garden Tone. Garden Tone is a 344, but Plant Tone is 533. So I've been using Plant Tone lately. I have both bags, and but I've just been leaning more towards the Plant Tone. So I took that old soil, mixed it with new soil, added more peat moss, added more perlite, added some more fertilizer, and I put the new plant in there. I put the new pepper plant in there. The new pepper plant that I've added is called a Red Standard 2. A Red Standard 2, and it is a sweet bell pepper. I don't even know what color it's going to be. Well, it says red, so I guess it'll be a red pepper. But I wish I had the tag so I can show you. On the tag, it actually has multiple colors. It's a red one and a green one. So normally, if whatever color it's going to be, that's what it shows on the picture. But it's red and it's green. But the name is a Red Standard. So obviously, it may be a red bell pepper. So one last thing before I get off. The okra. Those okra plants are huge and strong. So what I did, I'm noticing that the okras are beginning to. The flowers are coming. I can see okras forming. So I went down there and I pruned the leaves at the bottom. I pruned those bottom leaves. I wish I could show you a picture of it. It's still raining, so I can't go out there. But I can. I've pruned the bottom leaves. So when you do that, all the energy and nutrients and everything is going to focus on those the vegetables. That I think okra, maybe they consider that a fruit. Okay, so it is I can see them coming, and I wanted all the energy not to be concentrated on those little foliage or those leaves. I wanted all of it concentrated on the okras. So I pruned those bottom leaves, and I kept those large, big top leaves to provide coverage, protection. Other than that, let's see, my beans, my bush beans. I have once they get to a certain size, I can harvest my bush beans, and I'm going to keep it in a steady rotation. I have contenders growing, and I have Blue Lake growing. So no peas yet, because peas take longer to grow. Those are the little Marvel peas. The Alaska peas did not make it. I just didn't have success with certain peas. With the Easy Peasy, they're not easy. They didn't work out. The Alaska peas, they were trying, but it didn't work out. But those Little Marvel, I suggest if you want to grow some peas, Little Marvel is the way to go. They're growing, but it takes a while. I hear it takes a while for the Little Marvels. And but my bush beans, I'm growing 2 varieties right now. And then after they grow, I will be planting more, because you can continue to do that all season long. So I have plenty of green beans, and then peas, and then my corn, but underwater in the corn, I believe. So, but I have been able to fertilize my silver and gold, and it looks like some ears are forming. My cucumbers are nice and big. They're growing. I need to go and prune them. There's a video I'm going to watch one more time to make sure that I'm doing it right, but you need to prune those suckers and also prune some of the leaves. With my watermelon plants, with the sugar babies, I've been able to pollinate at least 3 watermelon flowers, female watermelon flowers. So we're gonna see. And I actually used, and I think I showed you before, but I used this on it. Just like they have the fish fertilizer, the 511, they have one that's a 0-10-10. It's called More Bloom. So I did use that on it. Now for normal feedings, I do use the fish fertilizer, but I wanted more flowers, because this is the time when you want those female and male flowers to blossom, so you can actually have fruit. You need that. So that's when I use the More Bloom on there, and so it can form more flowers, more blooms. And it is normal that it grows a lot of male plants, but you need the female plants also, because those are the ones that produce the fruit. So so I'm hoping, I want to better the chances of getting more female flowers by using that More Bloom, so it can produce more blossoms, and hopefully we'll get an equal amount or some more female blossoms to fertilize. So, or to pollinate, to pollinate so they can form watermelons. Okay. With my determinate tomato plants, they're still there, and they still have a lot of fruit on there, but the leaves have died off. That is the natural life cycle of a determinate tomato plant. They produce for a short amount of time. Its lifespan is short. I didn't know it was that short, but it has been there. They've been in there since March. So yeah, it's time. And the leaves begin to die off, and I couldn't bring them back. So I was like, what's going on? So I did a little research, and I was able to harvest off one of the celebrity determinate plants. Some really great tomatoes. They're in the refrigerator now with my lettuce that I harvested. And but the leaves begin to die and wither and turn brown, and there was nothing I could do about it. So I found out that is the normal life cycle of a determinate tomato plant. It has a short lifespan. It produces its tomatoes, and then the leaves begin to die off. So the fruit is still on there. I'm waiting for them to ripen. They're still green, but there's a lot of fruit on there. So I just kind of moved them over to a little corner right there so I can make space for the new tomato plants. So it stopped raining. I'm going to very quickly go over here. It may just be drizzling just a little bit. No, actually it's not. So I wanted to show you about my Browning corn. Can you see that? That was good. I hate to see plants turn brown. And the tomato plants, okay, like these over here. And I haven't checked them, so with this tomato plant over here, I've been getting a lot of blossom end rot on these. Okay, but you still have some on there that are still trying to ripen and turn red. And over here, now this is a celebrity. This is a better bush. The ones that I'm talking about that are truly dying down are these over here. Hope you can see that. Okay, so I kind of just moved them over into this corner over here. There's fruit still on there. I see one over here trying to ripen. Let me get over on this side. There it is. And look, no blossom end rot. Can you see that? No blossom end rot. So I think I'll be able to harvest that. So see, these plants are dying off, but they still have fruit on them. So they're still producing. And as you can see here, like I said, that one, I'll be able to harvest that one pretty soon. Okay. And then you have the new people, the new band members. That's a better, one of the plants that I bought in that special, the 5 for $10. That is a Better Boy Plus. Okay, and it's an indeterminate. So I practice with the determinate plants so I can get ready for indeterminate plants, because it takes a lot more work. You have to prune them and get the suckers off and all of that, and they grow really large. So that's why I got it in this huge container over here. That is a Better Boy Plus. Then we have more pepper plants. Okay, over here I have a Creole tomato, which is a Louisiana plant. I think that variety was designed by LSU, I think. And it is heat tolerant. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off now. I didn't mean to make a long video, but you know what happens. I get to talking and, okay. So, I got in those little planters that I got from dollar store that everybody was using. I don't quite like stackable planters. I don't like it that they block the vegetables or herbs from getting sunlight and water. So right now I just have them spread out. And I have some sweet basil in one, I have some Swiss chard in the other, mixed color. And then in that one there's dwarf blue kale. That's what's in there. What else we got? That's my contender bush plant. Over here, that is, and I'm not gonna stay on much longer. I was waiting, I had another female watermelon flower. I was waiting for it to open. You have to wait until the flower opens so you can pollinate it. Okay, so I do have another female flower that I saw, but it hasn't opened yet. Can you see her right there? I hope you can see that. I'm trying to move so you can see her. Okay, she hasn't opened, so I cannot pollinate her. And last thing I'll show you real quick is the okra before I sign off, because they're just massive. I didn't know they could get this big. And you can see the flowers growing. I hope you can see that. If you can't, I apologize. Okay, but yeah, I prune those bottom leaves so it can focus all its energy on producing the okra. One of those tomato plants, I see a blue spot on it, so I may have some blossom end rot on that one, on one of the tomatoes. But you know what? You learn. You learn. So when you have blossom end rot, it is a indication that you have a calcium deficiency. So more calcium. And I don't think, see, I was using bone meal, but I think we need something that has a lot more concentration of calcium and that is it actually states on the package that it is helps to prevent blossom end rot. So I'm gonna get that, especially for these new tomato plants. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off now. I think I did a pretty good video. I hope you enjoyed it. I was just trying to give you a little update. And I got me some rain from my rain barrels. And my plants were watered. So you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. You enjoy the rest of your Monday. I hope you had, for you mothers out there, I hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day and you were treated like the queen you are. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Enjoy the rest of your day. And always remember, no matter what your situation is or what your circumstances are, always try to find joy in the journey. And if you enjoy my channel, please hit like, share the videos, and also consider subscribing to the channel. You guys have a blessed day. Bye now.